to the LP Show. All right. Welcome, guys, to the episode 2 of the LP Show. My name is Pilks. With me, I got my boy Luke.
Hey, how we doing today, man? Why don't we tell the viewers what we're going to be discussing today, there, Pilks?
Of course, I'd love to. So, today, episode 2, or this evening, I guess, we're going to be talking about instant gratification and everything that kind of entails in our lives, right? From everything from relationships to jobs to, video games to health, and we'll just talk about that, right? And just kind of talk about what our thoughts are on that. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a big topic. I mean,
it
I
is.
didn't know when we were gonna absolutely or actually touch on this topic. So it's gonna be a good one for sure. A good episode to tune into. Feel like our episode 1, just to touch on that real quick, did pretty well. So super happy with that. Those numbers and stuff. So let's jump into it, man. Like I guess where do you see that the most? Instant gratification. Where do you think you'd see that the most right now in the world?
No, that's actually like a really good question. When I think about instant gratification and what that is, I see that a lot truly in health, like working out, exercise.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh man.
and I'm not knocking on people who are into. I'm not gonna call them fad diets, but fad diets, right?
Right.
The keto, the vegan, the big one that was around a couple months ago was carnivore.
That's been hit and miss. Sorry to interrupt you. That's been hit and miss over the last few years, even. Bueno.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
go ahead though. Sorry.
No, you're good. I know it just recently got like pretty popular a couple months ago. Especially in social media, right? But instant gratification in and of itself is people are wanting. We as people are wanting, the end result now, right? Like, and obviously the inverse of that is the delayed gratification, right? But I think it's been so insidious in our culture and our lifestyles that I feel like we had to talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to jump right into that, it's one of those things where when you think about it, what it does is just takes the hard work out of life, right? Because
Right.
when you see all these people, like you said, in the gym, or these influencers or streamers get millions of dollars, or they're getting super buff in the gym. I've been going to the gym for 15 years, and some of these dudes
15 years,
go for a year or two, and they take these supplements, and it's that instant gratification, like you just said.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
but another factor of it is it's a psychological thing, I feel like, too, because they see all these people on these social media sites and stuff,
Right.
and I can just do that. And I seen a study somewhere that you can get steroids now, and it's cheap. It's like steroids online that are legal, and they come cheaper than buying gold standard whey protein, like what we used to always do in high school.
Right. We did. And I remember, when we were in high school, right? And we were working, I remember working at the car wash place, right? And I didn't make a lot of money. That
Absolutely.
100% gold standard protein was
Absolutely.
like $50,
Yeah,
like that was
that was
like
I
a
think it was
quarter of a
like
paycheck.
$35, yeah, for like
Yeah.
a 2 or 3 pound bag or whatever that standard size
Right.
bag is.
And like I remember we worked out like 6 days a week, right?
After work, 10 o'clock at night.
After work, after
Yeah.
school, we were putting in the work. Obviously, don't look like it now, right? I got older, but when you touch base that and you correlate that with, like steroid use in the gym or fad diets, and you see can I take the simple route? Can I take the easy route? And you take out that hard work, that character building process of whatever it is, right?
Right.
I think it's detrimental, to our psyche, to our relationships, to how we live our life.
The society in general.
Hmm.
I mean, like we said, we were texting about this earlier. We could go on with this topic for 45 minutes. We're gonna try to keep
Easy.
it short for everybody. This go around, because the last one
Yeah.
was like 45 minutes long.
We
So
were excited. We were getting into it,
yeah, no, it was a really good one. Like I said, I think it was an eye opener. So
Yeah.
it's definitely good to talk about. Yeah, but like I said, we can just go into the gym scene a little bit more. Just I know you
Yeah.
go sometimes. Eric and I go, and we always see it. It's just it's insane to see and we've been to multiple different gyms since we've moved here
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Oklahoma, and we've seen it in every single gym. You got older crowd,
Hmm.
most of them natural, you know what I mean? Worked out for the last probably 10 to 30 years of their lives, and then you got
Right.
these young dudes who are literally probably 18 to 21, and they're just on
Sure.
so many steroids, and it's all legalized, like the SARMs and stuff like that. I remember when that came around, but it's like they don't think about how much that affects
Their
reproduction.
body. Right.
I mean, their hormones that when they're 18, what's it going to look like when you're 25, 26
What's it
years
going to look
old?
like when you're 40? When your liver's shot, right?
Right.
When
But
when
remember, what is it all for?
it's that I want to look
Instant
good now.
gratification,
Yeah. I want to
as
look good now
opposed to
as I can. Yeah.
putting in the actual work and gaining the actual. Because when you really look at it, I go to the gym, and even the dudes who are bigger than me, when you really look at it, I'm lifting more weight than them. Like
Sure.
in general, and then also if you look pound for pound, they're heavier than me, and the weight that they're doing is still lower than, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where you
Right.
see that and you're just like
Well, I
it's
mean
literally like
that's
that SpongeBob episode where they're just blowing their arms up. You know what I mean? It's like it's just insane. It's like, yeah, you're getting a lot of muscle mass, but how much strength are
how
you
much
actually
strength are
gaining?
you building? Right. And that's a good point to bring up because you're comparing. You're not that you're comparing yourself, but you're taking your 15 years
Yeah,
of
personal
weight.
just experiences.
Right. And you can see that after 15 years, you're stronger than somebody who's been working out for, let's say, a year, but they've incorporated steroid use or
I think,
other means, right?
not to interrupt you real quick, but I think the old man strength's kicking in a little bit too, Blano.
A little bit. Yeah. A
Getting
little
up
bit,
there,
huh?
I'm about to be 29
Yep.
here at the end of this month.
Hey, 30 years old, that's when it fully hits,
Yeah,
dude.
so
I think an important thing to recognize is what's the intention or what's the conviction behind why you're uh, not delaying gratification. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If you're we'll use the gym, working out and exercise. If you're using the gym as a means to look good now, but it's for like vain reasons, and you're taking 6 months to bulk yourself up on steroids, right? Obviously, we
right.
keep hitting on steroids, but we've been talking about that. There's
Yeah.
more to
Yeah.
that than
When we
just
say that,
steroid use.
that's a very broad,
Yes,
uh, word. So
it's important to recognize why you're doing something, right? Not for like noble reasons, but again, we'll
for
use
yourself,
exercise.
I mean, for
If you're wanting to
yourself, you
right,
know,
if you're wanting to exercise because in 60 years you want to be able to, you know, go play with your
or
grandkids
run a
and you can't,
marathon.
right, whatever the reason is, like that slow progressive longevity of diligent exercise and diet, that's what's going to be able to meet that. But people want it now, right? It's that I want it now, how can I get it now instead of working for it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
but I think we've kind of broached on that subject a little bit. What are some other areas in life, Luke, that you see that people are um that
Reaching
people
for
don't know
those.
how to, yes, like what are some other areas that people are dealing with instant gratification, wanting
Yeah.
it now and not wanting it later?
Yeah. No, that's a great question, because going into it, just like you had said previously, gaming, right? Like,
Hmm.
game we play, World of Warcraft, Cataclysm.
Right.
There and you've done it yourself. I've done it myself, but you can buy, character boosts and stuff like that, and it
Yeah.
takes it
Yeah.
takes so much out of the game, because
It does.
so many
It
people
does.
get to 80 on their characters, they don't know how to play them, which already is
Hmm.
frustrating. So it's like,
Yep.
all the things you learn along the way. It's the process, right? Like that's why they always say, like, you don't truly love something unless you can fall in love with the process of it, right? Because That's
Sure.
how
Yeah.
you get good at something is
Yeah.
doing it over and over and over. So you got to love that process,
Getting
whether
that
you
repetition.
fail or succeed. You're not going to succeed every single time, and that that comes back to the instant gratification thing.
Right.
And that's the problem is people get so down on themselves nowadays, and they get so depressed, and then they just shut down. And
Hmm.
they need that instant gratification, which is why they end up turning to social media or something like this. So to feed that dopamine that they,
Yeah.
oh yes, I got a like on my picture, or I got 15 likes on my picture and a few comments. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
that's where I see it. And I'm sure you can touch on that as well.
Oh, of course. I mean, we're both human, right? Like I
Sure.
deal with the same stuff.
Yeah.
I deal with the same thing. Like the fear of failure, right? You wanting to be the best, like wanting the best or wanting this and not getting it the first time, and it's like, what's the fucking point? What's the point of me putting in the work if I don't have this or this the first time right now? And
Yep.
that's recognizing like it's not the end of the world. Um, it's life's not over. It's
Right.
not
It's a
you're not a failure.
process.
It's a process.
And like I said,
Life
you
is a
gotta
process.
love that
You know,
process, or it's gonna
yeah.
be just a really shitty ride.
And it can be. And we're not sitting here talking about like we're not sitting here ragging on people. But
Yeah, or
a
trying to be
question I thought of was
motivational speakers or anything
we're
like that. It's
we're
just
trying
real
to talk about
life.
we're talking about real life. Like these are issues that everyone is living. Let's touch light on it. But a
Absolutely.
question I had was how would you what would be some advice to give to somebody who recognizes they're dealing with this issue where they don't know how to delay gratification? What would be some things you would say to the viewers, Luke?
So somebody who doesn't know how to get rid of that want for instant gratification, is that what you're kind of asking?
Yeah, or another way to say it is, how to delay gratification, right? In a day
Delay
and
it.
age where, you can look up anything you want on the internet, um, you can purchase, groceries and have them delivered to your door.
Right.
Not that that's a bad thing,
Right. Yeah.
guys. Not that that's a
Yeah.
bad thing.
No, I use that.
Hey, look, it is. It's
Yeah,
nice when
it's
you're
a great
busy, you've been
thing.
working a bunch. Hey, cool, and you're also giving to the community.
Right.
Your tip, whatever. That's not the point of this. But in a day and age where whatever you could want, you could get it now. How do you delay that?
I mean, I
You
think it's one
know?
of those things where just like anything, you got to take a step back from it, right? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
if you're, for instance, you're finding yourself wanting that instant gratification from, whatever it might be. We'll just use the hypothetical in the gym, right? You
Sure.
want that. Oh man, I see these dudes all the time because I'm on social media, and every time I wake up, I see these buff dudes, and they got their link to their gear or whatever they're using, whatever that might be, and just taking a step back from that and stop looking at that social media, stop worrying about other people, mind your own
Mm.
business. That's what it comes back to. I mean,
Okay.
it's like just to be honest with you, it's a harsh reality, right? But at the same
It is.
time, you
Yeah.
got to stay in your own lane. That's the problem with a lot of things, and not just America, but the world, is nobody
Mhm.
stays in their own lane. Nobody can mind their own business. They have to know what else is going on. It's like a human. As humans, that's kind of how we are. Is that's like curiosity, but at the same time, you can still tame that. You know.
Sure.
So that
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how I would answer that question. And back to you. How do you think you would approach that situation if somebody came to you and asked you that question?
I that's way to rebuttal that back to me. I appreciate that because I
Yes,
was gonna
sir.
float on by and not answer that one.
Yes, sir.
Um, so now that's actually, I think it's important to recognize, like you kind of touched on it yourself, and I'll bring up video games or even, which is WoW, whatever, like when I'm leveling up a character and I want to be max level, best gear, and I want it now, right?
Right.
So it's like this fervent need to like jump into it and doing it over
Just
and over and
want to
over
get it
again.
done.
Want to get it done, and you want it now, and it's like this burning desire, right? And like you said, like character boosts, you could take that and purchase a character boost and get to level 80. So you could skip the first 80 levels.
On 50 characters, up to.
You could, right? I think it's important to recognize that instant gratification in and of itself isn't achievable in almost everything we do in life.
Absolutely.
Right?
No, that's a good
It's
answer.
not.
It's not. No, I agree 100%.
And even for myself, like to recognize, okay, I need to slow down.
Right.
That's the thing. You need to slow down.
Right.
We all know like tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? It's not promised.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that you can't live your life to the fullest today.
Every single day of your life. You just can't.
Right.
You can't. It's a double-edged sword because it's just not. You have to have some reality with that, right? That's not a real reality where you can say every day I'm gonna. Some days if you want to say, oh, you only live once, you know what I mean, or whatever. But you can't try to say that every single day of your life. If you have a rare opportunity to go, I would never do it personally, but you have a rare opportunity to go on a freaking, open sea dive with dolphins, and you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do it personally, but that's like one of those times where you're like, yo, you only live once, right? Let's go do it. Right. But you couldn't do it in every single aspect. Oh, I got $5,000. I can invest in this business for $5,000. I might make some money, But it's like that's one of those. Do I really want to make that? Oh, you only live once decision right then. You know what I mean?
That's a good analogy. That's a good analogy because you look at somebody who invests, right? They're banking on the fact that their gratification is going to come back tenfold 10 years down the road, right?
Absolutely.
Those are both extremes. That's a great analogy to bring up, right? So
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. But yeah, man, it's one of those things, we're coming to an end of this now because we're trying to make it a little bit of a shorter show. We've been running for about 18 minutes now. I have to cut some out, right. Obviously. But
if we have to. But just some closing thoughts, Luke, is like I'm gonna be honest. Is this something you deal with in your life? And you don't have to be super detailed.
No, honestly, no, because like I've had so many opportunities where I could probably, take, I go to the gym enough and all that good stuff where I could take stuff and blow up and get huge, but like it's just like at what risk, because I think it's stuff. Right. I think it's stuff like that. I'm not a child anymore. I don't have my frontal lobe has already fully developed.
It's there.
Yeah, so it's right. Like I don't think about stuff like that to where I'm like, oh, I need it right now, blah blah blah. I've went through that phase in my life, and I've made purchases, and I've done all that stupid crap. You know what I mean? So I'm at the point in my life where I'm not a conservative, like politician wise, but I'm a conservative person in life. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Get that? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of them things.
Good question.
Yeah. Back to you.
Answer.
Back to you, though.
I'll answer that. The answer is yes, right? And I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm asking is because I want people to be able to recognize that they can. We're not just robots up here, right?
Yeah.
We're not just talking about real world issues, real life issues, and detracting ourselves from it.
Yeah.
I deal with that.
And and to touch back on that real quick, I can't say 100% no, right? Like I would say a large portion of my life nowadays, I do not know. Like, yeah, I have that urge sometimes where I'm like, oh man, it'd be great to go buy that character boost on WoW,
Sure.
But then I think about it and I'm like, how hard do I work for my money though? Do I want to spend it on this? Do I want to go out and okay, how much do I like my body actually, I'm almost 30. Do I want to go out and even though it's cheap, go buy these SARMs and all this, even though what's it going to do to my body though? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think about those things, so it's like, I have that urge to, but then like I said, I got that out of my system when I was younger. So I don't as much go, yeah, I'm going to go do it. You know what I mean?
Right. So you kind of learned to delay.
Exactly.
To delay gratification.
I've done
those
it.
Areas.
Yeah. I've done it in other things, like I went and bought a motorcycle when I was 21, financed, you know what I mean? Like, It's one of those instant gratification things. I wanted it right now, so I went and just financed it. I mean, who does that? You know what I mean? At 21 years old. So it was a crazy thing to do. But that's one of multiple things, you know. So
Sure.
I've learned from my mistakes, if you will.
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing in
Yeah.
life to be able to learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely.
And grow from them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
But
Real quick question to you before we wrap this up. We can wrap this up after this, actually. What's one thing in your life, you know, if you don't mind disclosing to the viewers, what's one thing in your life that you do find, you know, yourself going, I do like that instant gratification outside of WoW? Because I know obviously you have that in WoW. I know that.
I do. I've always used video games as like a coping mechanism of sorts. You know,
Absolutely.
it's easy
No, I get it.
to jump in and play a video game for 18 hours to
Sure.
not think about
Everything
life,
else,
right?
yeah.
So that in and of itself is a great topic for a later time. But one area in my life. Oh man. Oh, that's a good. Man, you put me on the spot there. I know we've already talked about it, but like I've always wanted to be a police officer, right?
Yeah.
Always wanted to be a police officer. But for those of you that don't know, you have to be at a certain physical threshold to be able to even join the academy. And then from there in the academy, they're gonna put you through some more thresholds to make you in a better shape.
Right. You have some rigorous tests still.
Physical testing. You know,
Right.
you got your push-ups, sit-ups, aerobic exercises, whatever. I want that now, right?
I
And
want
think
that
about-
now.
I
That's
think
good.
about, like, I think about like, man, I want to be at this level. You know, I want to be able to run the mile this fast, and I want it now, but I'm not putting in the work for it.
Absolutely.
Right? It's one thing to want something. It's a whole other thing to put that want.
You know
into
how to
action.
achieve it, but it's
But
it's that mental hurdle you have to get over first, essentially.
Yeah. And it's like, but I think that's from literally years of having instant gratification.
Right.
And having to say, okay, look, this is my goal. Yes, I want it now. Who doesn't want it now? But because of the fact that we've been in this like mode of I want what I want now and I'm going to get it now, it's hard to break out of that mindset.
Absolutely.
And to actually work for it. But
No.
I would say that's one area in my life where it truly is not bugging me, but something that's always on my mind. Like,
Well,
put in the
hey,
work.
you know what? The fact that you can say that and you can accept that, that's a milestone in itself, right? So you know that already. So that's what you got to do. You know, at the end of the day, you know what you got to do. So you got to do what you got to do to make it happen, right? It's easier said than done, obviously, but you just got to get through it.
It is. I mean,
You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. One of my good friends always told me, this is his favorite thing, and we'll end it here. He always asks me when I'm getting overwhelmed with something, how do you eat an elephant? And of course,
I was gonna say I have no idea.
Elephant's big, right? It's a big ass animal.
Right.
You eat it one bite at a time, right?
Right.
And you can apply that to other areas of your life. How do you get in shape? You know, one step at a time.
Yeah.
One day at a time. So, but I think we'll end it there. Guys, thank you for tuning into episode 2. This has been the LP show.
It's been super fun. Before you end it, it's been super fun. You know, like we said, we tried to keep it short and sweet this time. We're super excited for, you know, future episodes. You know, make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment. We're down to dive into any type of topics. You know, if anybody has any type of topics they'd like us to speak on, you know, we'll do our research. If it's something we don't know, just let us know. You know, and you know, hit that like, subscribe button, enable notifications. Let's get this happening. We appreciate you guys watching the LP show today, though. Episode 2 and episode 3 is coming soon. Still trying to work on a schedule. Might try to release another one this weekend. We'll see what happens. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. If Blano, if you want to send them off, we appreciate you guys.
Got you guys. This has been the LP show, guys. I'm Blano. This is Luke. Have a good night. This has been the LP show. Thank you for watching. My name is Bilks. This is my boy Lucas.
Tune in next week.